All right, let's look at promise work. Uh, he has done the writing by typing, and then he has also written out the question. And this is for SSCE year 2018, essay writing number 1. The question says, you are dissatisfied with some practices in your school. Write a letter to your friend in another school discussing at least 3 practices and the improvement you desire. Now, whenever you see "and," it means there are 2 things you need to do, or even more. The question says, write a letter to your friend in another school discussing at least 3 practices and the improvement you desire. In other words, these practices are things you do not like that is happening in your school, and you are supposed to do what? Write out 3. Okay, you write them out, and you ensure to discuss the improvement you desire from these 3 practices which you do not like. Now, moving forward to that, look at the attempt he has made. Romix International Schools at Jaseko of a Garage in Ilorin, Kwara State, 11th June 2020. This is a perfect address. I must first of all appreciate the fact that this young man identified that the task which he has chosen is a task that demands him to write an informal letter. So he has started with the first step, which is the address of the writer and the date. Then his salutation is also quite okay. Dear Uchi. Let us look at his introduction. It has been a while we spoke or wrote to each other. But the last time we spoke, you showed your dissatisfaction towards your school. So then I decide to write to you to express my disgust towards the illicit acts going on in my school, because it's so absurd. But there is no one to blame, because where there is a rule, there would also or always be lawbreakers. Nevertheless, Uche, I hope this letter finds you in good health and great spirit. Now, to boil down to the reason why I'm writing to you. This is a very good introduction. Okay, at this level, this introduction is okay. The only problem I have here is when he said, so then I decide to write. Okay, it should be I decided. You've made the decision before you started writing, so it's a past tense. I decided. Now let's move further to the next paragraph and see what he did. The first dissatisfying practice is the issue of bullying, in which the cases of bullying in my school has been increasing at an alarming rate. Despite me being a prefect alongside with my other colleagues battling this issue, the cases keeps on increasing. No day passes in my school without hearing of a case involving a junior being bullied. The seniors who are meant to protect them are the ones extorting from them and taking their belongings with force. Now the issue here is, I don't know if you listened to the last thing, taking their belongings with force. It is taking their belongings by force. Taking their belongings by force, not with force. These are collocations, okay? These are words that go together. They are words that go together. We call them phrasal verbs. Okay, phrasal verb. Take by force. Okay, it's not take with. So please take note. These are the things that will bring one down at the level of mechanical accuracy. Okay, you have not used the appropriate collocates or phrasal verbs. So mechanical accuracy, it will bring you down. Now let's go back to where you can see the red ink. I have highlighted that in red ink. Now you said, despite me being a prefect alongside with my other colleagues battling this issue, the cases here is plural. And then you now added it with keeps. The cases keeps. It's a wrong grammar. Keeps is a singular verb. Cases is a plural noun. So you cannot say the cases keeps. Rather, you say the cases keep on increasing. Okay? If it is one, you cannot say the case keeps on increasing. So please take note of that expression. And then I like the fact that he has identified bullying as one of the dissatisfying practice in his school, and then he has been able to flesh it up and express himself well, except for those two things I identified now. The next one here said, the practice of changing teachers on short notice in my school keeps baffling me. I have underlined that expression. It is a poor introduction to your next point. Use linking verbs. Use linking verbs to, or linking words rather, to introduce your next point. You can say something like, another dissatisfying practice in my school is the fact that the school authority keeps changing teachers from time to time. You understand? You don't just go on and introduce your work like this. It doesn't show. It doesn't show tactics. It doesn't show tact. So you have to introduce your work well, and that is where you will also lose point at your organization and expression. This is another point. But the way you just introduced it, it looks watery. The practice of changing teachers on short notice in my school keeps baffling me. You said on short notice. Now you are. I know this is a very good point, but you've not tabled this point well. You said on short notice. The school doesn't even need to notify you before they change teachers. Okay? I think the point you want to bring here is changing teachers constantly. Okay? That point will look more viable, even though at some point students need to be aware that very soon they will have teachers, they should expect one, okay? So, but put it in a better way. Another disgusting practice is the school's frequent change of teachers. Then you can now flesh it up. So that is why I have underlined it. I didn't like the way you started it. Because this act, I continue reading please, because this act of inconsistency of the teachers we have in school can end up affecting the grades of the students. This act of inconsistency doesn't bring out the full potentials of the teacher because the teacher isn't even given enough space to bring out his talents of teaching. And again, employing of new teachers within a short period of time does affect students because the change will require them to adapt to the change, which in turn results into waste of valuable time and resources. Because the teacher's talent being the resource has been wasted. Okay? Because the teacher's talents being the resource, has been wasted due to an inconsistency in schools' policy, resulting into students being the ones to pay for it. Okay, you can see the point here is the frequent change of teachers, and you can see that I have a point in underlining the fact that there was a way he introduced it which is not really okay. That is another good point. Now the third one, which is where I like the way he started. He said, another disturbing issue in my school is the lackadaisical attitude of students to their studies. And this is not just an issue going on in my school, but this issue is a global one, because students of these days tend to show poor attitudes towards their schoolwork and pay more attention to social media rather than education. And this is the major reason for the mayhem that arises in various schools across the nation and the world. Just the lack of interest alone in their education results into even more vices like gambling in schools, thuggery, actions among students, and so on. Okay, this point is well expressed. So I can tell you that at the level of expression, Promise will gain more mark because he has expressed himself in all the points he raised. There is proper expression. You don't just what I mean by proper expression is that he didn't just mention thuggery. He didn't just mention bullying as one of the dissatisfying practice. He didn't just list them by saying changing of teachers, bullying by students, lackadaisical attitudes. No, each one he mentioned, he explained the implication. He explained them, and that is proper expression. So when he is being marked, he will gain more mark in expression. Let's continue. He said, these issues need to be paid urgent attention to if there will be room for improvement in my school. Because the school cannot soar higher if these issues are not put into consideration. You see that? He has been able to wrap up this point. Now he said, and Uche, my friend, to be frank with you, it is not my heart to be happy with the present situation of my school. I don't like this expression, which is why I underlined it. It is not my heart. No, it is not my heart. That's a poor expression. You don't say it is not my heart. You can say it is not a thing of joy to see my school in this situation. Okay? Not it is not my heart. And that looks like an Igbo language directly translated into English. Orobim. That says not my heart. This is not okay in English language. All right, let's move on. The issue of bullying, the poor attitude of students to their studies, the inconsistency of teachers, they are need. Okay, it should be. They are need to be worked on, because they need to be worked on, not they are need. They need to be worked on because I seriously need an improvement in my school. Now, I like this wrap up, but look at the next thing. You want to talk about the other part, which is discussing at least 3 practices and the improvement you desire. Okay, you want to discuss the improvement you desire. Now I have underlined everything here. You now said, so I guess this would be bye for now, but we will still be in touch. So please, write me often, and don't ever try joining or partaking in any of these vices I mentioned earlier, or even the ones being done in your school, and also be the one to cause change in your school, because I would be expecting you alongside with me at the highest point in the ladder of life. Goodbye, my friend. Now, Promise has forgotten to discuss the change he desires. He has forgotten completely. Which is why, if you have jotted your points down, you will notice that there is something you are leaving behind. Now, how do you do this? When you mentioned the bullying part, you can end it up by suggesting what you desire. You mentioned the changing of teachers. You can mention what you desire immediately after that. You talk about students' lackadaisical attitude to school. You can mention the change you desire immediately after mentioning it. Or better still, you can develop a fresh paragraph after mentioning the three. Then use that one paragraph to discuss the change you desire. And this change you desire should touch these three areas you have mentioned, which are dissatisfying. Now, I was expecting that from this particular paragraph, that is just the paragraph above these ones I underlined. Okay? Now, before that, you have something like, these issues need to be paid urgent attention to if there would be room for improvement in my school, because the school cannot soar higher if these issues are not put into consideration. And you now went on to say, and Uche, my friend. Okay? After mentioning Uche, my friend, to be frank with you, it is not my heart to be happy with the present situation in my school. Now, the issue of bullying, the poor attitude of students to their studies, the inconsistency of teachers needs to be worked on, because I seriously need an improvement in my school. Now, you have said you need an improvement. Now tell us, what is that improvement? This is the time I expect you to go on to another paragraph and say things like, bullying in my school needs to be stopped. I expect the school authority to put on measures that will be properly checked to ensure that younger students are not bullied, so that we can have a situation where every child is treated equally, irrespective of age or class. I expect to have a school where teachers' work are secured, where teachers will last for a good number of years, where a particular teacher will be able to teach a set of students for a complete session or more before he leaves the school. This will help a good transition. Where teachers must leave, let it be in a new session so that it does not affect the children or student entirely. Lackadaisical attitude in schools needs to be checked and proper law put in order with the help of parents and teachers to ensure that their students or wards adhere to school rules and regulations to ensure a glorious destiny for these students and a proper school system. Now, things like this are the things you should bring up. So, for Promise's work, at the level of the area he is dissatisfied with the school, he has done a good job. He has brought out 3 sound points for the area of dissatisfaction and has fully expressed himself well on those 3 areas. Nevertheless, he has lost the other part. He has done very little or nothing on the other part. So you must be careful on these things. They are very, very important. They are very, very important towards your score. So you can see that if content, we mark you based on content, organization, mechanical accuracy, and expression. At the level of content now, you are expected to do 2 things. You've done only 1. So your content, instead of 20 marks, you are battling with 10 marks now. Sorry, instead of 10 marks, you are battling with 5. Because the 2 major things, you mentioned only 1. So you're battling with only 5 marks. You'll be scored over 5. At most over 6, because you have you've touched a little of the fact that you need them, but Professionally, it's over 5 you'll be marked. So you've lost 5 marks entirely. The other 5 will be judged by, okay, how were you able to do them? Now, when you go to the other part, which is expression is 20 marks. How are you able to express your points? You've only expressed half of the work, so you are also scored over 10. Okay, the 20 marks you're supposed to cut across. How did you express the satisfying practices? Then how did you express your desired change? So these two phases will be divided. But since you've not touched the other part, you'll be scored over 10 as well. So you've lost another 10 marks, which is 15 out of 50. You are left with 35. Now, mechanical accuracy is also 10 marks. All these things I have underlined, they are going to take away your points. Both the place you have the red ink and the underlined words, the places you miss punctuation marks, you also have marks to lose there. Then you come to organization. Your work is well organized. Your address is in place. Your salutation is in place. Your introduction is okay. Your paragraphing is okay. But the other part of the work, you've not done it. So all of these ones will take some marks from. So at the end of the day, you may be battling with about 27 marks or 28. You are left with 27. A work that is supposed to be over 50. You are left with the fact that the person has to now score you over 28. Now this over 28, you are not sure of getting, you cannot even get the 28. So these other 22 marks, you just threw them away without a fight. It is an automatic throwaway. So it's just like now saying someone has not done his first test, which could be probably over 20. What it means is you've lost 20 already. In a situation where you have welcome test and you did not come to school in the week of welcome test and you lost that 5 marks, what it means is you have lost the 5 marks automatically. You are left with 95 to battle with. The week of submission of the first assignment, which is 5 marks, you didn't do it. So it means you have lost another 5 marks, which is 10. So while others are being graded over 100, you are being graded over 90. So the point here is you have lost the mark. So the other 90 you are battling for, there is no assurance you are getting all. So that is what has just happened here. You've lost 22. You are battling with 28. So they will now check what you've written and score you over 28, which you may now be getting at most 20 or 22 over 50. Now divide it by 5. It means you scored about 5 over 10. In a wonderful letter, you started well. And look at the closure. Yours sincerely promise a nice closure. So please take note of this correction, and this correction should cut across everybody, so that more works I will be reading, let me be seeing improvement. Just like I sounded it the other day, some of you were just apologizing, you're sorry, you're this, you're that. As at the last time I checked, only Promise did his 2 works. Saka did 1, but still did not follow instruction. I said go to 2018 and 2019. She did only 1, and that one she went to 2017. But nevertheless, that's a better way of starting. Others didn't even do anything. I wonder what I would do with you guys. Honestly, you guys are just unrepentant. Some of you are just unrepentant. But I just hope that a magic will happen, Daddy, because no matter the bad thing you do, I'm still praying for you that on that day you will do yourself proud for the first thing. You do yourself proud. Do your parents proud. Do the school proud. Not even me per se. Not even me per se. Okay, the last time you brought your jam, the school was just hammering on me. Your previous set, when they did well, nobody even came to say, Mr. Man, Mr. Alex, you guys did well. Nobody. So please, this thing is for you. Once you do well, it is you that will raise your shoulder high. Nobody remembers the teacher at that point, but it doesn't matter. Just do well so that you do yourself well and all that. So please ensure to move on and do what you ought to do. Okay, we just have to stop here for now. Thank you very much.